Okay, everyone. This is Michael from Click Reporting. I'm here with Benjamin as well. Thank you for joining our webinar today, Automating Title Register Data Extraction. And we're going to get started. Before we jump into the actual presentation itself, just a quick run through what the agenda is going to be today. We've got a very, very simple agenda. Firstly, we're going to talk to you just for a couple of minutes about us, about ourselves, how we got into the business of title data extraction. Then the main part is going to be a demonstration which my colleague and partner Benjamin is going to run. And then at the end, we're going to offer you a special offer which is available just for you, the attendees of this webinar only today. We'll show you exactly the details of that at the end. And then finally, there'll be questions. Something important to mention about questions, seeing as this is a webinar and you can only hear myself and Benjamin speaking, the way you're going to ask questions is there's a section in the question section in your control panel of the GoToWebinar control panel on the side of your screen. So if you have a look on the side of your screen, one of the sections there is called questions. You can open that and ask a question at any point. You can type that either now, during the presentation, at the end. And what we will do is keep typing those questions as you think of them during the presentation. And then right at the end, we're going to answer those questions. Okay, we'll go through them one by one, seeing how many there are, and answer all of those questions. So again, just type those questions in the question section as you have them, and we'll get to them at the end of the webinar. Okay, so moving on to the next slide, a little bit about ourselves. So my name is Michael. I am the tech and product side of Click Reporting. I've got experience in a number of tech companies and startups. Most recently, I was the VP product at Graduate, who you may be aware of. Graduate, we made alumni networking platforms for universities. In the last few years, I've become increasingly interested in the world of AI, machine learning, automation, with a specific focus on how we can make AI simple for the end user, so you don't need to make something tech heavy in order to make it simple and useful, which is how I got involved in Click Reporting. And I'm going to pass over to Benjamin to tell you about himself and do the demo again, just to mention for the last most recent people that have joined. If anyone's got any questions during the presentation, just go to the question section in your GoToWebinar control panel on the side of your screen, type them in there, and we'll get to them at the end of the presentation. Over to you, Benjamin.
Thanks very much. Thank you, Michael, and hi, everyone. So I've been working as a properties lister for the past 17 years, and I'm currently a partner in the Gunnar Cook real estate department. I'm just going to actually turn off my camera and just go over to the presentation. So the idea for Click Reporting came about during a time that I was preparing a lot of title reports. And I was aware that each time we prepare a title report, we're extracting the same information from a title register. Each time we take out the title number, we take out the property address, the registered proprietor, and then we're extracting the rights and covenants to report to our client. There are various different ways that we do this. We either copy type, looking at the title register and then typing that into the report. Sometimes it might be dictation, and other times it's copy and paste. But each time we're doing this, there can be issues with changing the size of the information that we're taking over. The font's wrong. There are line breaks at the end of each line. And when preparing lots of title reports, this just takes time away from really what we're trying to be doing, which is advising the client. Now, what I found was that I was actually spending more time formatting the reports than actually giving the advice. So what I wanted to do actually is look for a solution to actually just deal with this issue. So I looked around in the market and I couldn't find anything that was actually dealing with or able to assist with extracting information directly from a title register. This was the stage that I approached Michael. He had the tech background, and I asked him if we could build something, and we created Click Reporting. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give a live demonstration of the site. I'll show you the main web page, and I'll demonstrate it on 4 title registers: freehold, leasehold, and some longer and some shorter, just to give you an idea of the process of extracting the information and then what we're left with at the end. So I will start off here by pulling up here we go. So this is the click reporting web page. The idea of the site was to make it as easy as possible for people to use. So we only have 2 pages on our website. We have this this web page with various links up here, and then once signed in, we have the page that actually is used to create the report. So what you would do is you would come to this web page there, clickreporting.ai. and you would sign in with the email address that you'd used to register. You're then taken to this next page, and there is in the middle of the page there's this box, outline box, and you have 2 options. You can either click to upload a file from your system, and that will pull up the usual file manager page, and you can select your PDF, or you can have a Windows folder which has your title registers in, or you can extract or drag and drop from an email. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you 4 registers. So the first one, you just simply take it out and you drop it into this box over here. And then what we're looking for is at the top of the screen here, it just flashed up that there'd been a download. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open that title, or open the report side by side, the title register, and then we can have a look at the 2 things together. So bear with me 1 second. Okay. So we have the title register PDF on the right-hand side of the screen, and we have the report that's been generated on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, this first title register, it's a very simple title. I'm just obviously showing you this for demonstration purposes. It's a freehold title, a couple of pages. There's a unilateral notice over there, and there's obviously the registered proprietor, the address, and the information you would usually expect to see. Then looking over onto our report, you can see that it's extracted, and when it extracts information, it highlights it in yellow, so it's clearly identifiable what it's extracted. I should say that the yellow coloring isn't permanent, and just using the normal Word tools, you can actually Control A in Word would select everything, and then if you were to remove the highlighting by selecting no color, it removes all the highlighting. So it's not permanent highlighting, but I'm going to leave it on just now, just so we can see what's been included. Also, the format of the report, it sets it out in a table. So if you want to see the grid lines, we can turn on and view the grid lines, and it just shows you clearly where the information is set out. So if you want to add anything, you can see which box you need to add that to. So just quickly running through the extraction, we've got the date and time of the title register. But bear in mind that this, although it's a short title register, it took a couple of seconds to generate this report. So it's pulled out the date and time of the office copy, and it's given you that at the top. It's then given you the title number, which it's extracted. It's extracted the property address from entry 1 of the property register, the class of title. It's extracted the registered proprietor, and it's extracted the price paid. And that's all given in a neat table at the top of the report. Next, we have 2 sections to the report, or 2 initial sections: rights which benefit or burden the property, and then restrictions and other matters. So the rights which benefit or burden the property, that has been taken out of the property register, and the restrictions have come out of the charges register. And as you'll see, it takes out the entry and then leaves details, or leaves a space rather, for the solicitor or the conveyancer to insert their advice. So if there's information now on this particular transfer of the 26th of June 1992, let's have a look here. There's reference here to the land having the benefit of rights, and it says it makes reference to it being referred to in the charges register. So this is the 1992 transfer, and the charges register over here tells us that the 1992 transfer is filed. Now, in the way you would normally do it at the moment, you do still have to get a copy of that transfer, review that, and then any details that you would want to report to your client on, you would insert over here, and then insert any advice. Then likewise, we've got the entries from the charges register, which have come up over here. And again, there's spaces for the solicitor or conveyancer to include their advice within the report. If there are various other headings in the report. If there's a schedule of restrictive covenants, that would then be listed in the next section. Schedules of personal covenants, if there are registered charges, if there are restrictions and notice on the title. Now you'll see here there was a unilateral notice on this title. So the unilateral notice details are now included over here within the report. And then we have this section at the bottom, which is the unknown section. So we have the report is based on an algorithm, and there are instances where it's unsure of which section to put the entry into. So rather than missing anything, rather than leaving anything out, the report gives you the entry in the unknown section, and then it allows the solicitor to decide, okay, which section of the report should this go in, or is it relevant and do we need to report on it at all? So here we've got this entry from B3, which is a reference to the transfer of the 7th of February containing purchasers' personal covenants. Now, it may well be we don't need to report on that, so we could delete that entry, or it could be that we are going to report on it and then we could move it into the relevant section in the report. So that's the example of a very short report there. I'm going to close that down and show you another example. So again, what we're doing here is we're going, and if anyone's just joined whilst I was in the middle of going through that, we're dragging a PDF title register into this box over here, which is on the login page on the website, and we're looking on our screen up here for it actually flashes blue when the report's downloaded, and there it is. So it took about 3 or 4 seconds to download. I do know that on some versions of Chrome, it actually pops up, the document pops up at the bottom. It used to do that on my machine, but I think I've had an upgrade, and it now the download now appears at the top of the screen. So then I'm going to again open up the Word document. I'm going to open up the title register, and we can then look at these two side by side. So again, for those who've just joined, I said before that the yellow highlighting it isn't a permanent highlighting. It can be taken off just by using the normal Word controls. And if you were to select everything, which is Control A, which is a Word command, you would just then remove the highlighting like that. I'm going to leave it on just because for the purpose of the demonstration, it's just useful to see easily what information's been extracted. So we've got another freehold title here. And again, as you can see, it's taken out the date and time of the office copy, it's taken out the title number, the address of the property, again, the registered proprietor, the price paid, and this is actually a longer register. This is 6 pages long, excluding the cover sheet. So as you can see on the title register, there are a number of entries in the property register. There's a number of restrictions here in the proprietorship register. And then in the charges register, we've also got a couple of registered charges here. Oh, and also a schedule of restrictive covenants. So this is an example, and this will show you exactly how the software extracts the information. So again, you can see here there's a heading, rights which benefit or burden the property, and it's recited the full entry over here. Now, one thing that I would add is, and when I'm preparing reports for clients, different clients want different levels of information. I'm sure everyone else who's preparing reports is aware of this. Some clients want to have bullet points. Some clients want to see the full entry. Some want somewhere in between. And what this does is, obviously, the report is generated in a few seconds, and then it leaves the lawyer, within a couple of minutes to kind of cut down the entry to leave in the relevant parts. That we find is kind of much quicker than kind of copy pasting or copy typing the relevant information to begin with. So as we scroll down this report, we can see that the entries from the property register are set out in full. We've then got the entries from the charges register, again set out in full here. After each entry, there's a space to insert advice if we need to do that. And then again, we've got the schedule of restrictive covenants, which sets out all of the restrictive covenants here in a neat table, and then the charges as well. So here we've got 2 charges on this title, and those charges are both set out here. The entries referring to the lender being under an obligation to make further advances, that's included as well. So we have the registered charges. The next section includes the restrictions. And then in this title register, there's also a registered lease, and again, it gives us the information there in a neat table. As we saw before, if there's a section where it's unsure of what to, or rather where to put the entry, and that we've got here A5, A7, A8, and B3, so there's some uncertainty, it leaves them there for the solicitor or conveyancer to actually take and put into the relevant section of the report. And again, sometimes these, it's not necessary. For example, here you may, just looking at this entry here, the land legend and lettered A in red on the plan was added to the title on the 8th of June 1973. That may or may not be relevant, and then you can decide whether you want to include it or not. So the next title I'm going to show you is a leasehold title, and I'll show you how it extracts the information from that. So again, just taking the PDF title register, and as I said before, this could be dragged from an email, and then I let go, and then it tells you here that that's the file's downloading. The file then is going to appear at the top. Actually, sorry, bear with me a second. Here we go, the file's downloading. And then it appears here at the top of the screen. So we'll open the Word report and we will look at that side by side, the PDF title register. And obviously this is a leasehold title, so we have details of the lease at entry 2 of the property register. So what we can see is that the report has extracted all of the same information as we've seen before on the other title registers, and then it also has an entry here for lease details. It's got the date of the lease term. We do have an entry for the annual rent, which sometimes appears on older, say, residential leasehold titles. It's sometimes a reference to the rent over there. Occasionally also on commercial titles. It's less common in recent years, as I'm sure everyone is aware, but if it's available, then the program will grab the annual rent and put it in there. It's not, so it just notes extraction error because it hasn't been able to find the annual rent. So again, that could just be deleted. And if there are any notes, sometimes below the lease, there are notes, those notes will appear here. And again, this title register has various entries which have been copied into the various sections, rights which benefit or burden the property, restrictions and other matters, and again, leaves the solicitor to then include their advice within the report. And again, we've seen this unknown section where the solicitor can then decide whether or not the entry is relevant and where it needs to go. I'll show you one more register before I hand back to Michael. The reason I wanted to just show this register finally is because it's very long. It's actually a 13-page title register. So you can imagine how long it would take to prepare a report based on that. And again, the way to do it, as we've seen before, you simply take the PDF and drag it, and then it appears now at the top of the screen. So I'll open up the Word report that's been generated, and we'll look at that side by side with the PDF. So it took about 5 or 6 seconds to generate this report. So it was, slightly longer than the shorter ones, but as you'll see, it's, this is 13 pages. Obviously, there's the cover page, so 12 pages of text. And the reason it's so long, well, there seem to be 2 reasons. The first is the Land Registry have actually taken this 2001 transfer and have transcribed most of the clauses onto the register. So we can see there's a couple of pages of those clauses, and there's also a schedule of personal covenants here. And then in the charges register, again, there are some long entries that have been included. The other reason, as well as having long entries, is well, there's a schedule of restricted covenants, and there is also a list of there's a schedule of notices of leases, and there are on this title 23 registered leases. This is actually a housing association title, and so all of the leases then are registered. And then what we can see on the report, I mean, this is a Word document, so we can see the number of pages. This is a 16-page report that's been generated in about 5 or 6 seconds. So, you can see the time saving that we have here. And again, the entries are all set out as they were before, and then it's for the solicitor to then edit the report to create the relevant report for their client. So as we scroll down, I'll just show you this this schedule of notices of leases and how it's presented. This would also be useful on, say, a large commercial site if you were buying maybe a shopping centre or an office building where there are lots of registered leases. It gives you a very useful table at the end of the report where it sets out the demised premises, the lease date, the lease term, and then we can then include the lease rent and the parties when we're reporting to our client. So again, this is, as I said before, 16 pages, and I think you can probably imagine how long it would take to prepare reports of that length. So you can really see the time saving. Another useful tool here that some of our customers have mentioned to us previously is that when they get in a title register initially, say by email from a seller solicitor or a landlord solicitor, they'll select this table, which has the initial information, title number, the address of the property, class of title, title plan, and they'll actually just copy and paste that into an email to their client and attach the title plan and just say to the client, the information's come over, here's a brief summary of, some title information, and they will, tell the client that they're starting work on the matter, and it's just an opportunity for client engagement. Like very quickly, when the title register comes in, you can then send over that information. So that is that's the demonstration of the product, and I think that you can see the one of the ideas or the intention when we set this up was to be able to have an extremely user-friendly interface with no setup required. So there's no need to involve the IT department in your firm. Anyone who's using it can simply log into the platform, drag and drop a title register into the platform, and then the report will be generated for them. So that's the end of the demo, and I'll hand back over to Michael.
Thank you very much, Benji. So as Benjamin showed, hopefully what you can see is that what we've tried to produce is something that's not changing the world, but it is definitely going to change your time producing your title reports. We are very, very confident at Click Reporting that you will find this useful. So we've done everything that we can to give you the opportunity to try it and see it for yourself. What you're seeing now is the pricing page, the pricing scheme that we have, and the pricing basically works on a basis of how many uploads you would do per month. So if you would do 3 uploads per month, it would be £49 a month, 10 would be £99, and if you would do 30 uploads a month, it would be £199 per month. Because in order to give everyone a chance, all of our packages automatically come with a 7-day free trial, and you can also cancel any package at any time. There's absolutely no commitment whatsoever. So we really are confident that you'll find this useful. Again, this is not going to solve all of your problems, but it absolutely will save you time creating your title reports, extracting data from the title register in the most simple way possible. And what we're offering today, just for you attendees of this webinar, is an offer just valid till the end of the day today, till midnight, which is the popular package, the most common package, which is usually £99 a month. We're offering that just today for £49 per month for the first year. Of course, that will still come with the 7-day free trial, and of course you can cancel at any time and credits will roll over as usual. So if you would like to take advantage of that free trial and then have half price for the first year, Benjamin, if you want to go on to the next slide, we've created a link for you and a QR code as well. So I'm actually going to put that URL as well in the chat right now. You should be able to see that. So if anyone does want to take advantage of that, that's just for today. It's going to be half price for the first year, £49 per month instead of £99 per month, to have 10 title uploads per month. If there are any questions at all, please feel free to write them. If you have a look in your GoToWebinar control panel, there's a question section there. If you have any questions about the functionality of the platform, or about the special offer or anything else at all, you can either put them in the question section right now, and then we will answer them in this webinar. Otherwise, we're going to end the webinar, and obviously feel free to write to us or give us a call if you've got any questions. Once again, that special offer you're looking at on the screen, that would be £49 per month, 7-day free trial to have 10 uploads per month. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Benjamin, if you want to go on to the next slides as well, you've got our contact details, and you know, we'd love to hear from you. You know, any feedback, positive or negative, your thoughts on the platform. You are obviously the expert, so you let us know if you think this platform would be useful for you. And obviously, as you get to know it and as you get to use it, we'd love to hear feedback about what you think could be improved, what's working well for you. And we're here to help in any way. So thank you once again for everyone who has attended this webinar. I will also send out a recording of this webinar shortly, so you'll have it as well. And thank you so much for attending.